Threads is amazing for visibility, but I will tell you that visibility doesn't pay the bills. And if you want to turn threads and turn those replies into DMs that turn into sales, then keep watching. Now, before we get started, my name is Elizabeth Graham, and I am a messaging and sales strategist for mission-led, service-based business owners. Now, since 2023, I've helped over a dozen women sell confident inside of the DMs without scripts or any kind of salesy tactics. If I could get that word out. And if that's something that's interested for you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So Threads is exactly where I start all of my conversations. And it is exactly why I believe that Threads is such an incredible place for visibility for your business. It is the place where all conversations are started and then they're led into my Instagram DMs, where I know that I can nurture my audience and all the connections I've made. And so that's why I look at Threads instead of a place where I convert people and instead of a place where I nurture my people. It's a great space that I use to start every single conversation. And so I use Threads where I start the conversations. I nurture and build relationship inside of the DMs. And when the time comes, which I teach my clients to know, I start to close my clients and I know exactly when the timing is right for that. And next week, that's what I'm going to show you is step by step how to sell inside of the DMs confidently. So you go in with some kind of a plan and you don't freeze up when somebody says, hey, tell me a little bit about what you do. One of the key things about Threads that I love is that it's so easy to grow there, but it's also more easier to create content that really calls in your target audience. And it is a great space where I start those conversations, whether it's asking a question, whether it's engaging in people's posts, whether it's simply just wanting to get to know someone. And then I'm able to see if they're the right people for me. And that's what you can do inside of Threads. It's beautiful. There's a place for keywords where you can find your target audience, but it doesn't stop there. You have to take them over to a place where you can nurture them. And yes, you can use Threads to nurture. People do it all the time, but I'm a big believer in people seeing me on screen like this and also engaging with people in what they have to share over in their stories. The cool thing is that I'm not online all day. I'll just be really honest with you. I'm not online all day. I have 3 kids that I homeschool. My husband works. I have a part-time job and I have this business here as a messaging and sales strategist. But that does not mean that I don't take the time to connect with people. Once you have a simple strategy and a simple rhythm for engagement and connection with people, everything else just flows easier. And it's less about you being online all the time and more about you using the systems and rhythms you create to engage with people inside of your DMs. So I'm going to teach you today how to really take those Threads replies and connect with people in the DMs and then convert them. So the first thing that you want to do is you really want to use Threads to its advantage in visibility. And that means if you are in the For You section of Threads, you want to make sure that you are looking for your people, that you're engaging with your people. You're looking for those people that don't have the plus sign on there. I don't teach any other platform when it comes to visibility because I am a firm believer there's only 2 right now, which is TikTok and Threads. And I haven't been on TikTok in a while and I don't use it ever. So I can't really teach on that. So for those who are on Threads, it could similarly work if you did TikTok because you can pull people off of TikTok into like your YouTube. And I'm not sure if you could do it for Instagram, but I know that you can put a link at the top to your YouTube. And so I'm going to stick to what I know, which is Threads. And so Threads is a great place for you to find your audience. You're looking for connecting with your target audience. And if you don't know your target audience, let me tell you a little bit about my challenge where I help you identify your target audience. Spark the Conversation Challenge is a 5-day challenge over on Circle where every single day for 20 minutes a day for 5 days, you are going to spend some time getting to know your audience, whether it be researching, whether it's connecting, whether it's asking questions. And by the end of the challenge, you'll have your own copy mining blueprint where you'll get all the details of the words your audience is using, what their pain points are, what the solution they're looking for, and all of this you can turn into your own message. So if you have not taken the Spark the Conversation Challenge, make sure that you get down on the link in the description and you click it for you to take that challenge. So back to like the visibility part of Threads, you want to look for those people asking the questions that you solve. You want to look for people you want to reply on people's posts. I know these are things that you know because like everybody and their mama talks about it, but I'm going to make it for you very simple. Stay on the For You page and just look for people that are looking for what you have. You can even look it up on keywords in the search bar and type in what you do. You can type in, sales. You can type in different kinds of things for you to connect with people. That's how you start connecting and actually getting that visibility and traction on your posts, is by you really being known for something. But if you aren't known for something and you don't have keywords to look for, then you definitely need to take my challenge, because you need to find out who it is that you're trying to target. So the second thing that I do when I'm trying to bridge them over from Threads into Instagram is if I see someone that I know I can help, I'm going to comment on their stuff. And then I'm going to follow them on Instagram. After I follow them on Instagram, I'm not going in for the kill, dude. I'm not going in for the pitch. I am going strictly in for conversation, because people are one of three things. They're going to be a connector, they're going to be a client, or they're going to just be a conversation. Someone for research. That's it. So if you have that in your mind, that this connection that you're making is going to lead to one of those three things, it's so much easier to just literally engage with their stories. Now, if they don't have stories, I'm going to see if they have a post. If they don't have a post, I'm going to be really honest with you. I do not connect with them at all on Instagram, and I stick to Threads if they're very active on Threads. And I'm just going to connect with them over on Threads. It's a lot easier for them over on my Instagram, because they can see like my stories where I like do a lot of story selling, where I ask questions so I can get to know my audience more and things like that. But the truth is that if anybody doesn't have the Instagram at all, why am I going to follow them? I mean, they are never active on there. It just wouldn't make sense. And so I'm going to stick to the place where they're most active, which is Threads. How long do I personally look at their posts and be like, well, they haven't been active for X amount of time? It's 30 days. I don't count them completely out. I'm just like, they haven't posted in 30 days. I honestly don't post on my feed, maybe once a week, if that, but I normally don't even post on my feed. I just don't like to. And so I will say that if they are still posting at least stories, they're active and you can engage in that. But if it hasn't been more than 30 days that they haven't posted, I wouldn't even trip about engaging with them. So the third step is how I'm going to start a conversation with someone. And I already kind of gave you a little intro on that, is I'm going to get in their stories. I'm going to ask a question. Now, if the story is lame-o, there's no story, it's simply just promos. You've seen these people who just post it's really big with course resellers, is they just post the course over and over and over and you don't get to know them. Number one, that's not my target audience. So if that was my target audience, I would find a way to pull and tug to get to know them. It's so hard, because in that space, it's a whole nother tangent, but in that space, it's mostly reselling and they're always getting pitched at by people and getting scammed. So that whole space is a little iffy. So I will say that if it is a course creator, or if it is someone who does that kind of course stuff, you just have to find an in, find a way to ask a question that's not, how long have you been in business? How do you like selling this course? Because I'll tell you what, people's trust is so low. It's not even here anymore. It's way, you can't even see my hand, kind of low. And their alertness is way up here. You can't even see my hand, because that's how high it is for them. A lot of them don't trust anybody. So they're not going to connect with you. If you ask them, how's your business? How long you been in business? How do you like your business? It's the truth. That's the worst line ever. So you got to kind of find it in. Most of my ends are always about kids, or most of my ends are about food, anything I can find. Example, where's my Christmas tree? Right there. Okay. Let's say I put a story and I'm I'll give you an example. And I'm talking like this, and you can see my Christmas tree, right? And it's February. I'm going to message you and be like, you got your Christmas tree still up, girl? Or if I can relate, I can to them, I'll be like, I haven't even taken my Christmas tree down. Last year, I didn't take it down until June. When are you planning on taking yours down? Do you see how simple that is? There's no overthinking on that. It's just easy. It's just one little small thing. And for instance, where is my calendar? See, right there. That's a calendar. That is a calendar of the quarter, right? And in there's different highlights, and it's usually highlights of my menstrual cycles, my cycle phases and stuff like that. And so I'm going to ask oh my God, is that cycle phases in the back on your calendar? I cycle phase 2, I've been doing it. And if they're no, that's not it, then I'm oh, that's what it looks like, because I have something similar, and I'm going to send a picture. Do you see how easy, you're literally just starting a conversation. Now, if you're an introvert, I will say, be authentic. I have introvert clients. You want to be very authentic with your connections and be 100 and keep it real. You don't want to be surface. Nobody wants that with anything, whether you're an introvert, extrovert, intro, extro, whatever you want to do. You want to be authentic, and you want to mean like you really want to get to know this person. Like, don't enter a conversation with, I just want you to buy my program. I just want you to buy my course. I just want you to buy my product. I just want you to be my client. Like, nobody wants that. Nobody likes that, and nobody wants to be a part of that. And so the last thing that I do is when it's time to like really close someone or really convert someone and stuff like that, is I just wait till it's the right time. Like, I'm going to nurture you. If I talk to you once a month, there is no way I'm going to try and sell you by month 2. Like, that's why I'm really big on like follow-up Fridays, or just at least following up once a week. I know for me, right now I'm in a season where I'm not following up as much as I want to. I definitely could get better, but I'm not following up as much, maybe like once or twice a week. I'm following up with people, and if it's like a cold lead, maybe once or twice a month until like they see my stuff and warm up. So it does take time, but you need to find a way to track those people. And it's super important for you to track and keep some kind of like outreach tracker, whether it's, through Notion, ClickUp, or you do one on a spreadsheet, on Excel, whatever it is. You need to track those people because you need to nurture them. It is going to take, from my understanding, someone told me it's like 50 plus touch points. And what that means is you need to talk to somebody 50 times before they sign up. I can tell you that sounds about right. I have people that I talk to 3-4 months before like they sign up with me. And so it does take time, but that's because trust is so low. Nobody wants to buy from everybody. People are broke. Okay, let's keep it 100. People are broke. So they're not going to spend money on just some random schmuck who does not care. You care, you put in effort. I'm not saying you're going to beg. You just put in some kind of effort, man. Just think of it as dating. Like, you got to show you care to someone for it to lead to anything. And so the final thing that I do is I really do nurture in my stories. I'm very big on my stories. Like, I'm in a season where like God has really asked me to not try so hard. I don't even know how to explain that to you, but like not try so hard. Like, my stories are very nurturing, and I'm sharing like as I go. And sometimes I don't, like, my first post, quote unquote morning post, won't even be until like 3 p.m. today, 3-4 o'clock, because I've had a very slow morning with my kids and just kind of taking my time with stuff. So I want you to understand and to know that you don't have to be in your stories all day, but you definitely want to nurture in your stories, and you want to do the first 3 stories. Like, you want to talk about, like, ask a marketing question, you want to share a testimonial, and you want to have some kind of call to action to your offer, because if I don't know what you sell, I cannot buy it from you. And if you're not talking about it, I'm never going to know. So why would I do Instagram DMs and not Thread DMs? Thread DMs are very new. And I will be honest with you, no one really who's been on Threads a long time is going to check those. I don't check mine. I see it and I just ignore it, because I don't want Threads to become another Instagram. Does that make sense? Where I'm getting like cold pitch randomly. So I personally do not even like mess with that. Like, I don't open it. That's my personal view. A lot of people, and I should do some market research on this to kind of, because obviously I'm talking about selling in the DMs and that's what I do. But a lot of people in Threads are there. They're there to connect. A lot of people aren't there to get pitched to. Do you need to? Yes. Minimum at least once a day. I don't know if people will see it, if I'm being honest, because there's so many posts, but 1 to 3 times a day. I have not been personally like sharing like personal stuff lately on Threads either. I've just been in kind of a dry spot when it comes to like creativity and my brain. And so I personally think that like, if you are going to share, if you're going to be on Threads for Threads, not to like DM people. I feel like that's why Instagram is there. If Instagram took away DMs, then yeah, I would switch to Threads, but they have no plans of doing that. So I would stick to just getting your leads, getting your visibility there, and moving them over to Instagram, and from Instagram into the DMs, into stories, nurturing, and then closing. That is a perfect rhythm for you to maintain. So I don't DMs just because people don't mess with that. Like, they don't really want to do it either. I will ask, but I have seen people talk about how like we all have decided just not to touch the DMs on Threads, and they're right. We're not messing with that. We don't want to. And since last week I talked about like the pay strategy and how like you should really connect with people 50% of the time that you're working when you're trying to get those leads and trying to build up that momentum. That's when this comes into place. That's when threads and looking for people and taking them into the DMs, that's where this comes into place. So watch the video here for you to learn about what that strategy is and how that strategy helps you not have to be stuck on your phone all day and not have to constantly be working full-time hours when you are first trying to get that consistent leads and consistent sales coming through. So because we implement here, I'm going to give you homework for this week. This week, I want you to find 3 people over on Threads, your audience. And if you don't know your audience, make sure that you get to the description down below to get the Spark the Conversation challenge for you to find who those people are. Connect with 3 people, and then I want you to take them over into the DMs and start nurturing them. I know it sounds scary, but I know you can do it because it literally is not that hard when you really believe in your offer. And that's why I did that challenge, so you can start to believe in who you serve, how you serve them, who you serve, what you solve, and how you're going to solve that problem for them. And so I want you to go over to the description and take the challenge. So once you talk to those 3 people, I want you to start nurturing them, but also keep track of them. Create some kind of an outreach tracker where you connect with people, you connect with your leads, and you engage with your leads. And once you do that, I want you to comment below and tell me that you did it. And tell me that, how did that feel to reach out to 3 people who are your ideal clients for your business? And don't forget to watch last week's video, and I'll see you next week where we talk about selling in the DMs.